This isn't me telling you how to practice. This is me giving you suggestions, and a start point. Where you take it is completely up to you.
Hello, my fellow pagans, Wiccans, random people of the internet that are just curious. This is normal pagan, or normal Wiccan here. Okay, so this week, I do apologize, my video's a little bit late, it's about one day late. We're going to go ahead and cover a couple of things here. I just took a vacation to Florida, and there came a couple points in time whenever I'm in a new area or anything like that. I like to investigate and see the local pagan shops and stuff like that. And where I was at in Pensacola, Florida, there's a great pagan shop. Offered a lot of really nice stuff. Of course, being a pagan shop, they're going to offer gems, herbs, stuff like that. Now, while there, the thought occurred to me, because looking at the gems and everything like that, it didn't really give you what their uses are, which a lot of pagan shops do. A lot of stands. We went to a farmer's market, and there were actually a couple of pagan-based stands. You know, people selling herbs and gems and stuff like that. And you had to rely on the person standing there to give you the meaning of the gem and herb. Now, doing this for many, many years, I have a lot of it memorized. I have like, what I generally use: aventurine, cat's eye, or tiger's eye, pyrite, things like that. I have all of that memorized. But for a starting out pagan, or a lot of pagans in general, you may not have those things memorized. So I'm going to go through today a couple of really quick, easy things that you can do. Another thing that we're going to do is cover alternate books of shadows, because we covered, we already did a video on the Book of Shadows. We covered the traditional Book of Shadows. Yeah, this one's kind of hokey. The folder of shadows, or Trapper Keeper of Shadows, if you will, and also like the hard drive of shadows. But there are some, with modern conveniences, modern technology, stuff like that, there are some new options out there that are really phenomenal. I use at least one of them, and me and my wife bought something to use for a second version of it. Now, understand, none of my videos are sponsored, so all the names I throw out there I paid for 100%. It's not, I'm telling you this because these people are telling me to say this. It's because through my experience, and my wife and all, just general experience, think these are really good products and something that you can use. So the first one that we're going to start with is a digital version. I work in IT. I have a bachelor's degree in IT, and that's what I do for a living. So obviously I'm going to take those resources that I learn about and use and stuff like that, and apply them in the most convenient way to my lifestyle, which is being, partly at least being a practicing Wiccan / pagan. And a lot of younger people are going to, let's be honest, a lot of younger people are going to be more prone to carrying around their phone or something along those lines than, carrying one of these, or if you've done it for many, many years, a thick, binder around with you. So we're going to go ahead and cover some of that, and just give you a heads up, if you hadn't thought about it, or if you're not that technologically prone, give you some new concepts on how to use the resources that you have for your Book of Shadows and paganism in your everyday life. So here's a couple of ways that I like to use technology. I use mainly Apple products, though I do have an Windows computer and stuff like that. So I'm going to be showing you here what you can do with Apple products, but most of these things transfer over to Windows products. You can use Google Docs, you can use OneDrive. There's multiple different ways that you can do this. But on Apple products, one of my favorite tools is Notes. As you can see here, I have a list of just my lists on my Notes app. Sabbats, what they're, what the meanings are, what the dates are, gemstones, just overall gemstones, and what their meanings are. It's a small list, not everything's there, obviously. Elements, different, what they mean. Animal meanings, if you want, if my daughter's looking for a mouse, lynx, stuff like that. Different colors. What do the different colors mean? And I share this with my wife, and one of the great things about Apple products, you can share it with your wife, other people, your kids, stuff like that. And I share these lists with my wife, my kids. Herbology. So, this is actually, so there's a difference. You'll see here, herbs and their magical meanings in herbology. Herbology being the use of different herbs and what they do medicinally. Whereas herbs and their magical meaning, you've got aloe, love, spiritual, althea, a very large, very in-depth list of, herbs and their magical meanings. So that's what I generally do with my Microsoft, my Notes app, is just hold the lists that I have that I use in my everyday life and through paganism, stuff like that. And this is really good because the Notes app is really easy to get to on your phone. So when you're out and about and you go to the random pagan store, or you see, oh hey, there's a weeping willow tree, what properties does it have? I see I picked up a quartz crystal off the ground. What property does that have? Things along those lines. You have those lists at hand where you can easily get to them, and it makes a lot of sense. Now, the other thing that I do is I have all of the documents, basically my Book of Shadows that I have on the computer on my iCloud OneDrive. So and we will go to Pagan. Okay, so see, here's my entire Book of Shadows. And I mean, most of your Book of Shadows is going to be text documents, I assume. I guess you could put some pictures in there. I don't know that you would really put any videos in there unless you downloaded one of mine and decided to put it into your, hard drive Book of Shadows. But, you can organize it the way you want. You've got extra skills, gems, kid stuff. I have coloring books, from years and years back here. Symbols, different symbols, you can pop it in there. Herbs, list of herbs, books of herbs. And finally, all the classes that I have written up for my old coven, which is generally what I use to teach you guys. So this is an option as well, and these are all saved not only on the computer, but in the iCloud drive itself, which means that you can access this from any device, any Apple device that you have. You can go into the iCloud drive and pull up that information. You've got your iPad with you, you've got your phone with you. All of that can be used to access this, and you'll have that information absolutely anywhere. So that is, yet again, another option that you have to make things more convenient for you. And again, you can do this with most other services, most other cloud-based services. Like I said, OneNote, or not OneNote. I guess OneNote might be an option there. You can also use OneDrive along with OneNote. Google has, Google Docs and a myriad of services as well that you can use along with your, Google-based phone, if you have a Chromebook, all of those things. So definitely utilize what you have to make things simpler for you, including making sure you have access to all of your information when you're out and about. I can honestly say there's been a couple of situations where I've been invited to events, and somehow, some way, during the course of those events, I got bamboozled into running the ceremony that they were having. And, it would have been nice, because this was many years ago, long before, I had access to any of this, to have access to, hey, we're, my old ceremonies, we're doing Beltane. Where's my old Beltane ceremony, so I can just refresh, see what elements we use, stuff like that. So that is all, now with modern technology accessible to us through our phone, our iPad, our computer, all of it. Definitely utilize these things to your advantage. Now, I will say this, disclaimer, I do not recommend taking any of those electronic devices into your ritual space. I do not recommend casting a fertility spell while holding your phone. Simply because, what we're dealing with is energy. Energy acts different in different ways. I have seen people's electronics get damaged while doing spells and ceremonies and they're frying their phone and stuff like that. So the disclaimer here is where this is great as a resource, and you could take anything in your Book of Shadows and print it out and then take it to the ceremonial area. I don't recommend taking the devices themselves into the ceremonial area. So that is where you need a physical book or a physical thing. And we're about to cover a new and improved option that we have available to us right about now. Okay, so we are going to cover something that's called like a modular notebook or journal. Obviously, most pagans use some type of journal for their Book of Shadows, so you can use this item as well. This is, and again, not sponsored at all. This is the Thehappyplanner Follow the Stars notebook. And to be honest, me and my wife found this, and our first thought was this will make a awesome, Book of Shadows. So again, not sponsored at all. And to be honest, this is not the cheapest option. I think this right here, this notebook was like $50, but it's modular and there's a lot you can do with it. And to be 100% honest, it's actually cheaper than sometimes doing the journals and stuff like that. So let's just kind of cover what this is, a whole kit. It came with these cool little rings. I'll explain what the rings do in a minute, but they've got little moons in them. It's awesome. It came with these You Are Magic stickers, which for our, uses, you've got little stickers with crystals and moons and mantras, little sayings, show kindness to yourself, very little cool stickers that, you could use in your Book of Shadows. And, there's the moon phases, I have the power to change my thoughts, or I have the power to change my thoughts. you know, stuff that would be very, very cool for a Book of Shadows. Again, moon phases, follow the stars. Very, very, if these are foil ones, yeah, you can sort of see that. Very cool little stickers, more foil stickers to deck out and do your Book of Shadows. It's very, very cool. I absolutely think this is gorgeous. This is an insert that gives you the phases of the moon, gives you what the different phases of the moon. Now, granted, this isn't from a magical context. This is more like affirmation and stuff like that. But I mean, a lot of the statements still apply. This is just a neat little card that kind of comes with it. Tells you everything that came in the book. Now, me and my wife have already put this together because, yeah, that's a sticker that's it. Me and my wife have already put this together because that part is slow and exceedingly tedious. But let me show you what this is. This is pretty much, let me take off the, this is, so you open this and the first thing that you have is, you know, it's a Thehappyplanner. But you have all of these wonderful, high quality, you know, pages with little stars on them. It's very mystic looking. And it also came with not only these, which are medium-sized rings. It came with these little metal small-size rings. Now, you're going to probably say, well, looking at that, that's not a lot of, you know, room. That's not a lot of paper for a journal or for a Book of Shadows. Which, okay, granted. Now, this is what you start out with. And again, it's got 3 different section dividers. And again, they're absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful, very high quality. Now, here's the thing about this. The Thehappyplanners is a whole line of planners, wellness journals, stuff like that. You can go out and you can buy just more of this lined paper to put in your Thehappyplanner. You can also buy more dividers to put in your Thehappyplanner. When I say Thehappyplanner, we're also talking Book of Shadows here. So you can just keep adding to this and adding to this. And again, these are the small size ones. These are the medium size ones, and then you've got the big ones. Now you can have this be like that thick, and you know 3 times thicker than this, 3-4 times thicker than this, and use these rings to fill up this book. Now you're like, well, that's nice, but you know I've seen the Thehappyplanner stuff. All of their packs of paper are, you know, $20, $10, stuff like that. I really don't have the money for that. But let me show you. So let me show you a couple things. Number one, this is kind of how the paper goes on. You just kind of snap it in there. This is regular note paper. Nothing fancy. Doesn't have to be real thick. Regular note paper, and it just kind of snaps in there. So if you spend $20 on a Thehappyplanner, you like it, that's what you want to use, but you don't want to keep spending $10, $20 on note paper, for this planner from this company. That's fine. You can buy one of these, which is $50. Again, I know it's a little bit much, but it'll pay for itself 10 times over. And you can take anything, a piece of note paper, a card, some cardstock, a picture, and just go ahead and put a punch in it, and it fits right in there. And you can just keep doing that. You can take regular paper, cut it to the size. If you don't get the one that is the standard, the the large size, which is basically the standard piece of paper. You get a medium or small. You can take paper, cut it to size, use one of these, and you basically have infinite pages for your, Book of Shadows. You can go out and you can get regular manila, dividers and punch them and put them in here. And have as many sections as you want, as much as you want. Now, I will be honest, if you take one of these large discs, you have a good size Book of Shadows. And okay, at some point in time, that's, even with the large disc, you're probably going to have to change over to a new one. But you still have this. This is still, in good condition. You've got this Book of Shadows, you start a new one. I'll be honest, after 20 years of doing this, after 20 years of practicing and doing Book of Shadows, I probably have 5, 6 Books of Shadows, just with new stuff in it all the time. And the great thing about this is, say you have a section, and I've done this many, many times in my regular Book of Shadows, say you allot this much for symbols. And you fill all of this up, and you're like, well, crap, I have these 2 symbols that I want to put in there, but my symbols area is all filled out. Now, generally what you do is you kind of try and space it in there somewhere, or something like that. This, all you have to do is take it out of one section and put it into that other section. Or, like I said, just take a piece of paper, or, buy some Thehappyplanner, paper, and just add to that section. Makes it 10 times easier to organize, makes it 10 times easier to keep your stuff in order. And it looks, guys, look at this. That looks awesome. It's definitely got a beautiful look to it. You can, when you look at this, you're getting your mind in sync with what you're doing. Even the saying on it, look at all the magic around you. I think, I was really excited when I saw this. My wife got into the whole Thehappyplanner planning. She's very big into organizing. She's the one keeping the finances in the house. And she does all of that with her Thehappyplanner. And we saw this kit, because that's what it is, that for the stars, what's the name of it again? Yeah, Follow the Stars kit. And we're like, that would make an awesome Book of Shadows. So, along with the stickers, and you can get different stickers, and you can get washi tape and stuff like that to decorate everything. Generally, you could probably you could do the same with your normal Book of Shadows. I drew everything out because the thought of stickers and stuff like that never even occurred to me. But the type of Thehappyplanner Book of Shadows you could make is just absolutely awesome. Would look excellent. It's easy to add to, easy to organize. And it's just, I thought it was an incredible option. Again, I'm not going to lie, not the cheapest option in the world. It's not. But I've seen people spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on hand-bound leather Books of Shadows, blah, 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 blah. And they get them, and they look awesome, and they're beautiful. But they're not very functional, because they've got, 50 pages in them. One thing that you want to remember is not only does your Book of Shadows need to be beautiful, but it needs to be functional. And this, to me, is probably the best option for both. Now, I will be honest, is this cover laminated? It is. If you are one who's a stickler for not bringing synthetic materials into your covers or into your ritual space, simple. Just take the page out, use it for your spell, use it for your ceremony, and then walk back and put the page right back in. I'll be honest, that was a whole lot more simple than putting a page, a couple pages into one of those plastic sleeves like I do with my giant binder of shadows. Just makes it simple. This is absolutely beautiful. Guys, seriously, I can't explain to you how beautiful I think this absolutely is. And you can buy more stuff from Thehappyplanner for this. Again, you can make your own. You can, deck this out completely beautiful. If you do decide to do this, do me a favor. I want pictures. I want comments. I want to see what you guys have done and how you have put your book shadows together. Not just if you decide to do a Thehappyplanner. I'm talking you're doing a binder, you've got your book of shadows set up. I really want to see, I want to know, how do you guys have this set up? I want to see your guys' creativity. So, like, comment, subscribe, comment on how your book of shadows is set up. I definitely want to see it. I'm sure other people want to see it. This is kind of empty right now. We will eventually get to filling this, but I definitely want to see your guys'. Okay, guys, so we just went ahead and we covered 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on how many different options of cloud storage that you have. Different ways to do a book of shadows. I definitely recommend, keeping a digital copy. House fires happen. Unfortunately, house fires, theft, being kicked out, all of those things happen. So a digital copy is always a good thing. And because, again, we don't really want to bring digital devices into our coven space, we covered another way of doing the physical version through the Thehappyplanner. Guys, I can't stress enough. Again, I'm not in any way, shape, or form. I don't receive any money from them. I'm not sponsored. I just think this is an awesome, awesome resource and way that we can do our book of shadows. And it could be absolutely gorgeous. I can't stress that enough. Some of these stickers, and you can get stickers from other places. You look at eBay and you look at astrology stickers, mystic stickers, pagan stickers. You can do a lot with it and make it look absolutely gorgeous. And I really do think that this is a method. I'm saying a good option for having a beautiful book of shadows, an organized book of shadows, that you can have for as long as you want. Like I said, starting out, it's a little bit expensive. It's like $50 for the whole bunch, $30, $40, $50, something along those lines. And it's, if you get like the Following the Stars pack, like my wife and I did, I think with the stickers, with the 2 different sets of rings, the whole thing was like $50. So I understand that's a little bit expensive, but when you take into consideration, you get the big rings, this thing can last you a really, really long time. And it's customizable, expandable. I think you'll probably end up spending a lot less for this than I know I have in the past for books of shadows and journals and stuff like that. So, once again, like, subscribe. I definitely do want to see pictures and, explanations on how you guys do your books of shadows. If you have more methods, more ideas, definitely let me know. Definitely comment down at the bottom. Alright, once again, this is the Normal Pagan. Stay healthy, stay well, be yourself. Have a wonderful week.